Hello, there's Iris Prime here, or as my name badge says, Michael. Here for a video log. I haven't done a video log in a very long time. I haven't done any Transformers, Doctor Who stuff, and I haven't done anything really, non-Xbox related, in a very long time. As you can see, I'm in my uniform. I've just finished a night shift about an hour ago. I've been working a lot. New wrestling game on the Xbox, eating time away. But, I'm trying to change it, I really am. It's just a case of finding time to do stuff. Transformers are so Doctor Who the Magnus years, they're not done. I'm still going to get back to them at some point. Today is the day of the Doctor. Happy birthday, 50 years. Quite an achievement. I've got a 50th anniversary special planned with the minifigures and Ultra Magnus and all that crap. I haven't got it ready for today. The script's almost done, but I'm waiting on Steve to provide his Sixth Doctor voice and his Windcharger voice. It's not one of those things that I could just wing it and go in and do it myself because it's not a minor role. And Steve, the way he plays it, it is significant. It is crucial to the overall story. So I need Steve in there, and I need Mike, I need myself, I need everybody in it. I'm not being a chav there, I mean in this. But yeah, so that will come along when I meet up with Steve and when we get the voice work done. Then I can begin work on it properly. It probably won't be till next year, but it isn't. It'll be late. One thing about me is never expect stuff when I say it's going to be done. I've just watched this video from some guy in the Daily Telegraph. I'm trying to get to his name. It's wrong. I just watched it. Tim Stanley. Yeah. Tim Stanley is a Doctor Who fan, and I'm not yellow anymore. Yay! Shared his highs and lows, his best and worst of the last 50 years of Doctor Who. I thought I'd do my own. Just because. No pictures, no sound, no video clips, nothing like that, just me with my stuff. He talked about stuff he did the best Doctor, best and worst Doctor, best and worst companion, best and worst story, best and worst opening title sequences, best and worst villain. I'll cover those 5 topics. He might have covered more, but I've been working, I'm knackered. I wanted to get this out, so I wanted to do something for the 50th anniversary of Doctor Who. So, to get on with it, his favourite Doctor was John Pertwee. Mine isn't. Mine is hard. It's really difficult to call this one. Pertwee's a really good one. I've recently got a load of Pertwee DVDs. But I like Troughton. I find Troughton Doctor to be fun. I haven't seen much of Troughton, but what I have seen, I've enjoyed. Tom Baker, I've got a lot of Tom Baker. I've probably got even more Peter Davison. Those are 2 other ones. Peter Davison was a Doctor when I was born, so he would be quintessentially my Doctor. And it will probably fall down to him and Tom Baker. Ben's probably gonna go, David Tennant. David Tennant was good, but I'm a fan of the classics as well as the modern series. I don't know if Ben is, but yeah, I would probably put it down to. I'll go with the companions here as well, based on who he had. I'll go with Tom Baker because he had Romana, both of them. He had Leela, he had Sarah Jane, and they were all cracking companions. I like them all, as opposed to Nyssa, who didn't get a lot. Adric, who I didn't cry when he died. Turlo, who Tegan. She was recently voted the best companion, and I am still trying to figure that one out because she isn't. So yeah, my top Doctor would probably be Tom Baker. I mean, probably because he was in Tim Stanley's favourite episode, the Robots of Death. It's a very good story. He also did the Talons of Wen Chiang, which I love. I love that. Just the Holmesian feel of it all, dark gothic feel of it. That was a brilliant story. Should have got an Asian man to play the Asian lead, but you know that was the way the 70s were, I guess. Consequently, my worst Doctor, his worst Doctor, he said Colin Baker. I've got a bit of Colin Baker, quite a bit of Colin Baker, considering he didn't do much, but yeah, I've got most of Colin Baker, a lot of Colin Baker stuff. I will say another one of my favourite Doctors is Paul McGann, and it was like a fangasm moment when I watched Night of the Doctor last week, and yeah, I was really excited because I was always he did great in the movie. He was one of the best part about the movie, and I don't think he got a fair crack at the whip, except for the big finishes, which I've really been meaning to get into. I'm trying to look at big finishes. But yeah, Paul McGann's another one, but Baker overall is probably my favourite, Tom Baker. Colin Baker, I don't mind. I actually like Colin Baker. I like his Doctor. I noticed in Trial of a Time Lord, he was less arrogant, less condescending. Which, you know, that's the Doctor we want. But, you know, the whole darker thing, I mean, I get that it didn't quite pull it off with the gaudy outfit and the horrible, it was minging. And if he wore the black that he wanted, he probably could have done it better. But then he had the blonde curly hair. But yeah, my worst isn't Colin Baker, mine will probably be Sylvester McCoy. I haven't seen a lot of Sylvester McCoy, and it's just, you know, that was at the top. And maybe I'm not being fair, but I've just, you know, he's not bad. Don't get me wrong, I don't not enjoy his stories. I don't dislike the guy or his portrayal of the Doctor, but he's just the worst one of the bunch, I think. Mr. Stanley also mentioned his best companion was Joe Grant. Like I said, I've just got a load of John Pertwee DVDs, and yes, Joe Grant is very good, but my favourite was, and always will be, Sarah Jane Smith. Clara comes close. Clara is kin. She's the tits, man, seriously. I don't mean that in a sexual way or sexist way or anything, but one little thing that Clara did was, in the Cold War, when the Doctor's like, stay here, don't follow me, she's just like, okay. She did as she was told. She has a discipline that a lot of companions have lacked over the years, and I like that about her. But going back to Sarah Jane, she was fantastic. I mean, in the Sarah Jane Adventures and, you know, School Reunion, the two-part Dalek one, Stolen Journey's End, she was great in them, and she was great in the classic ones. One thing that I did like, and this was Pyramids of Mars, which is when her and Tom Baker were, in my opinion, as a unit at their best, from what I've seen. And she was just teasing. They were teasing each other, getting on each other's nerves. And it wasn't a case of, you know, the Doctor being, oh, I'm an alien, I know more than you and shit. She were giving it back. And that's what I liked. And there was this one thing, I think it's in the last episode, where they're both just walking along and they see the villain or a villain, and they just completely in sync just turn and they like that back out. And I just loved that. That was just the best thing. One of the best things I've ever seen, and it's just a simple walk and turn, and it's completely synchronized, and even their facial expressions were the same. And it was just, you know, to me that was Liz Sladen and Tom Baker at the best. And yeah, so Sarah Jane gets my vote for the best companion. Worst one, probably going to touch a nerve here. I'm probably going to cause, you know, people won't necessarily agree with this. Rose Tyler. I liked her at first, don't get me wrong. When I was a casual Hooper and I was watching the Eccleston stuff and the Tennant stuff, and it was on BBC 3, I didn't mind her. But then when I started getting into the collecting properly, the series collecting, and the DVDs, and you got the benefit of replay and watching it over and over again, she just, I'm probably the least excited person to see her back tonight. It makes sense because she's David Tennant's most memorable companion. But the one thing that really turned me off her was school reunion. Mickey decides he wants to come along, and her face like a slapped ass. I wanted to slap that face, seriously. Don't get me wrong, I like Billie Piper, and full credit to her for playing such a whiny, spoiled bitch sometimes. And I just, watching that and then going back and rewatching other episodes of Rose, when she's like, at the end, it's like, thank you to Mickey, and Mickey's like, for what? And she's like, exactly. I don't like Rose Tyler much. Maybe tonight will change that. Like I said, Billie Piper did a great job at playing it. And when Rose was crucial, when Rose was important, and when Rose wasn't some spoiled, stuck up, and the doctor's mine, I want him all to myself, she did good. But, those things just really grate on me. And, it was worse than Tegan. And Tegan moaned a lot. And yeah, so Rose is my least favourite companion. Sorry about that. Best story. This is gonna be tough again because there's been a lot. Like I said, I really enjoyed the talent of Wen Chiang, which ranks right up there as one of the best stories, along with Tomb of the Cybermen and Pyramids of Mars. I enjoyed that. There's some modern ones I enjoyed. One of my favourites, two of my favourites actually, are the James Corden one. Matt Smith and James Corden, they're just so great together. The Lodger was a fucking cracking episode. Great comedy thing for, just to lighten the mood before we got the whole Pandorica bollocks. I'm going to go with Talons. No, it's a joint one. It's Talons and Team of the Cybermen. Because Troughton and Fraser Hines were fantastic, and with was it Victoria, the new companion? At that point, Troughton was great with her, and he was great with Jamie. That little thing where they held hands accidentally, and apparently that wasn't in the script. Just little stuff like that, little subtle things that they do. And Talons was just a great detective story. You had Professor Lightfoot and the theatre owner, I can't remember his name, McJago or something. But they were good. And I think I'm going to call him Jago for now. I might be wrong, but I think he had this whole self-importance thing. I think his self-esteem was skyrocketed when the doctor asked him to do the simplest thing. Can you fetch me a pen? Oh yes, stuff like that. And that was just a great story. It was just suspenseful. It was dark. It was gothic. It was brilliant. So yeah, it'd be Tomb of the Cybermen and Talons of Wen Chiang. My worst story, Gunslingers wasn't. Gunfighters? It's the Hartnell one. Wasn't very good. It was okay, but it just looked really fake. And that woman singing the whole OK Corral stuff at the end. You're gearing up to this big fight, gunfight, and the gunfights in the mid parts were better than the end one. The climactic battle wasn't really any good. Like I said, the ones before were a lot better. Another one that I don't really like that much, and this is because it confuses the fuck out of me, is the Pandorica story. That was just way too complicated. It was like, how could he do his future stuff? And I'm not even going to try and justify that shit. It just didn't make any sense to me. I get the stuff about locking the Doctor away because it's the biggest threat, and is that become that big that the villains have to team up to lock him away. But it was a whole escape from the Pandorica. That's what fucked me. And it's one of those things that, I watch over and over and it doesn't make any sense to me. So yeah, and the Flesh and Stone, the Weeping Angels two-parter in that series as well, because they just messed the Weeping Angels up. It was in Blink, it was Kill 'Em with Kindness, and in this, it was just something completely different. They seem to completely overlook the whole "if it ain't broke, don't fix it." And the Weeping Angels, I lost favour with the Weeping Angels after that because it just seemed just too. They went too far with it. They changed too much. I'm gonna go with my worst. I even enjoyed Trial of a Time Lord. I just thought that was good. It could have been better, or it could have been a lot worse. And like I said, the Doctor and Perry, the Doctor was a lot better in that. There's another one, Death to the Daleks, or is it Day of the Daleks? It's one, and it's just really slow. Box sets here, bear with me a sec. It's Death to the Daleks. This one, I watched it, and it just seemed to go really slow. It was just... I watched it all, and it just didn't seem to build towards anything. It didn't, some of the best stories are the ones that start off slow. Gradually the pace quickens, the tension builds and escalates. This one didn't. It was just at the same monotonous pace all the way through. Maybe I need to watch it on a full night's sleep, because I was ill when I watched it. That might be part of the reason I don't enjoy it as much. So I'm going to discount that. I'm going to go with the Gunfighters as my worst Doctor Who story, because it was just a mess. And the accents, they go from English to Wild Western Texan, and there was no consistency with the accents. So yeah, I'm going to go with Gunfighters on my worst one, my worst story. So I've got Talon/Tomb for the best, and the Gunfighters for the worst. Best villain, my favourites are the Cybermen. Now, I think probably the reason the Cybermen are my favourites is because they do look badass. Even the new ones, they look fucking awesome. They're not used as much as the Daleks. They don't have that overexposure that the Daleks have. And again, it falls into the McGann kind of scenario. I'm really waiting for a good, meaty Cyberman story, a scary one. I didn't mind Nightmare in Silver, or the Silver Nightmare, whatever it's called, but the kids. Archie wasn't so bad, but that girl, whatever her name is, Claudia, Sapphire, Angie. I don't even know anywhere close was I. She just got on my tits. She was, she's like the Miko of Doctor Who. Miko's that little bright bitch from Transformers Prime. Yeah. So yeah, Angie ruined that for me. I do like the concept of the Cybermen actually now being able to upgrade and overcome anything, and the fact that they're also able to convert Time Lords. Based on that, and the super speed shit, wow. The usual like, and you're like, run, we can get a good head start, and we don't even need a head start, let's just go. And they're like, but now they got super speed. They're like Flash Cybermen. It's like they fucking got hit by a bunch of chemicals and a bolt of lightning. They just need to be painted red and yellow. You've got Cyber Flashes. Given the Cybermen's new capabilities, and given the where they can overcome stuff and the new look, they do need a good story. Closing Time, I enjoyed, but not because of the Cybermen, because of the whole Matt Smith, James Corden interaction. Age of Steel and Return of the Cybermen was a good one. That was the last time I actually thought they were threatening. Because in Doomsday, they actually fought on the good side, which was another cool little thing. Because Doomsday was Tim Stanley's worst story, and I didn't mind it so much. I was glad that Rose left. Bit of a hullabaloo at the end, but fuck that shit. But yeah, the Cybermen get my nod for my favourite villains. Because they've got like, they can be, there's just so much potential there that hasn't been touched. I'd like to see them be scary. And I think the best way to make them scary is to lower the lights or something. Like grainy black and white of the 60s, that's when they were scary. But they seem to be put in these bright situations and this funfair, and yeah, it worked the point, but it's just something lacking. There's just something that they could do with the Cybermen, but they don't. Worst villain. I haven't seen the giant penis monster or anything properly. I've only seen clips, so I'm not gonna count them. Worst villain. Can I count people? Because that Welsh woman in the Silurian two-parter in Matt Smith's first season was a dickhead. She just got provoked and she killed that Silurian and all hell could have broke loose, but I guess she doesn't count. I don't know. Worst villain. I'm going by what I've seen. So, my personal experiences. And I can't really count penis villain as from my own personal experience. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the Slovene. I'm not. They're just not threatening. And they're annoying. Even worse when they're in the skin suit and that. What have we got? Daleks. Spiders, Cybermen. I don't know. The worst villain. Jesus. You don't count on it, do they? I'll be stuck here. I'm going by what I've seen. And I can't remember. Probably Mr. Sweet and the old woman out of the Crimson Horror. Because that was just fucked up. Yeah, we'll go with the old woman and Mr. Sweet off the top of my head. Because that was just messed up. That woman was just such a twat. Jesus Christ. Yeah, good for them. Last thing he did, something fun. Yeah, title sequences. My favourite is actually, and this has nothing to do with because Tim Stanley said his favourite was the first one, which are good. They're eerie, they're scary and stuff. But I like the movie one, '96 television movie, mainly for the theme. It's the theme I use for my series, my little Doctor because it's just grand and it's dramatic and it's got that epic scale, and it just, I love that version of the theme song and the whole, the movie title sequence and that with the meteors and stuff like that. It was neat and tidy, and you didn't have the blaring pin reds and storms in space and shit like that. It was just, a few asteroid TARDIS floating around in space. It was tidy, and the theme is like my favourite theme, my favourite variation of the theme. Worst one, probably the McCoy one. It was just synthesizers and did not care for that one. I skipped that one mainly. Usually I watch the title sequence through. I skipped that one. It's just a mess. Bright colours and in rainbows and skittles everywhere and the synthesizer music. Didn't enjoy it. So yeah, that's my best and worst on 5 subjects. My best Doctor, my best companion, best and worst Doctor, best and worst companion, best and worst episode, story, villain, and title sequence. Yeah, that pretty much does it. Tim Stanley's, it's on the Daily Telegraph thing. It's lasted about a few minutes. It's lasted nearly half an hour. But I've probably gone into a bit more detail. I haven't researched this. I don't research. I just do things off the cuff because that's how I roll. That's been my best of 5 and worst 5 things about Doctor Who. Happy birthday, Doctor Who. And don't know when it'll be or where it'll be, but you shall see me next time.